we do not have to wait long this season for what may perhaps be the best matchup we have. This could be, dare I say, a prelude to the grand finale. If one thing we've learned from 4v4 is completely erased this season, it's that double support is a bad composition. It seems that double support and 2 tanks is king with 1 DPS in the middle. It's been working super well for both of these squads. Only one dropped map between the both of them. I believe Krusty Krushers dropped a map. I want to say Krusty Krushers dropped a map. Let me go confirm with the standings. Yeah, Krusty Krushers dropped a map to... It was just this week. It was literally today. They dropped the map to Moldy Milkers of all teams. So, good on Moldy Milkers, taking a map off of this squad. But these are looking like the 2 top dogs so far. We'll see how they match up here, though. Samoa to start. But yeah, double support coming through differently in 5v5 than it was perceived in 4v4. In 4v4, it did not see much success at all. In fact, we had multiple teams with double support failing to make the playoffs. However, here in 5v5, it seems to be working wonders. Mercy Soj have been absolutely maniacal, especially since last season I had Mercy Soj and they didn't do anything for me. Not salty. Okay, we're going to have Rhine, Rom, and Roadhog Rhine. So, Rush Hour and Krusty Krushers getting very lucky with this one. This one, I don't know, man. This could go either way. I could totally see Rush Hour just running away with it, though, because I think they do have the best team by a wide margin in Season 3. We'll see, though. Can Krusty Krushers stand up to what I believe is the king of the season? Both of these teams have been very dominant through the first 2 weeks, but here's where they collide. One of them will be leaving today with a loss on their record. I'm pushing in very deep. Able to, so, Moldy Milk, or not Moldy Milkers, Krusty Krushers Rhine actually going to find more value there. It does help clean up the enemy team, and Krusty Krushers is going to win this first fight against Rush Hour, using their own master against him. We have to see how the continuation of this map goes, though. They're going to go down eventually to the Pocketed Sojourn. This is why this team has been so lethal. That Pocketed Sojourn has been an absolute menace to Overbot Season 3. I did attempt to run this in Season 2, but it just fell so far flat with the Mauga. I lost all confidence in it. In the Mercy. Ryan gonna fall over. Sojourn able to take out Zen 2, and the tanks. Wow, Rush Hour is being handily dealt with by this Krusty Krusher squad. They are looking very well off. They do have a Rhine on their side, so we'll have to see what happens if that ever gets switched off. However, Rush Hour for the first time looking mortal in Overbot Season 3. Even with a ROM added to their rush. Have to see if that can change here, though. Could see any fight going the way of Rush Hour. Just has to be a couple picks in their favor. Ryan going very deep. Here comes Lucio and Zen. They do find Sojourn first. Does the res come out? Shatter, not going to find much of anything. However, Mercy going to use that ult. She's going to fall to Ryan, and it looks like Rush Hour is going to win a fight here against Krusty Krushers. We will see if my Rush Hour prediction comes to fruition here. They are looking lethal. However, Krusty Krushers, very good job. They're already at 86%. Only one fight away from this first point on Samoa. It is looking like one of those series, guys. Could be the rivalry of Season 3 that we desire. Krusty Krushers and Rush Hour. They are in the same division too, so Get Good looking especially strong this season. Get Good has always been the stronger division since Season 1, really. Never back down. However, last season did manage to pick up a championship. Actually, they picked up. Never Back Down has picked up both championships, despite looking like the weaker division both seasons. Rush Hour, however, looking very strong here. 46% and building. They are quickly catching Krusty Krushers. Here comes the Soldier Ultimate. Not going to find much of anything, as Soj does. Back away from point. Mercy going to be found by the Reinhardt. Alright, here we go. So, Rush Hour slowly gaining the lead. They are eventually going to pass Krusty Krushers here, and it's looking like they might just have this map point, and we will be headed into a second one with Rush Hour up 1-0. Has been insanely good for them so far. They did run it basically all the way back on Krusty Krushers here. Can Rush Hour maintain this lead? We'll have to wait and see. We're going to swap to Winston. That's not a great pick for Krusty Krushers at all. This could just spell a 1-0 lead for Rush Hour. Not going to lie, that Winston pick, not exactly ideal. It does give them a bubble to work with. We'll see. We'll see. See if that bubble helps at all. Could still go in Krusty Krushers' favor here, but they just need a little bit extra work to get things done here. So we'll see. Alright, here we go. Gonna see another fight coming out here. Very quickly to start this one. Let's see Rush Hour. Looking on top so far. They're up 1-0. Ryan Pin gonna get halted by this hook. Good hook by the Hog. Keep this Ryan in check. He's gonna start swinging though. And Rush Hour looking on top still here. Sojourn and Mercy gonna fall to one Fire Strike, and a Ramatra Fist will finish off the Winston. So Rush Hour gonna start with point control here, and they are climbing quickly. So what I thought could be a close series, might devolve into a Rush Hour stomp. They do have my vote for being the #1 team. If I had to hazard a guess as to who is going to win this whole thing, I'm thinking it's going to be Rush Hour this season. I said that last season too, but this season, I don't know, something in the air. They look even stronger, especially with some previous champions on this roster, as well as maintaining Rhine. Alright, here comes Roadhog. We'll find the Reinhardt. Moira getting very, very low. She will eventually fall. Mercy's going to go for the res immediately. She does pull it off. However, Krusty Krushers already firmly in the lead. Reinhardt taking the Sojourn off, or not, Krusty Krushers in the lead. Rush Hour firmly in the lead. And this is looking like a 2-0, 1-0 start here for Rush Hour. Winston pick not helping at all against this Rhine rush. Gonna be looking like that will be a firm first point take and first map take for Rush Hour. Rommel does come out here, and that is looking like it's just going to be it. Mercy's going to fall, and Rush Hour will take this first map. 100-0 on this second point, so very dominant showing on the second point. Winston change, not quite it for Krusty Krushers. Rush Hour in the lead. See how map 2 goes. I was thinking it was going to be a banger so far. I mean, it was pretty good on that first point, but second point, once Krusty Krushers decided to swap to a worse tank, it did not go quite as well for them. See how King's Row goes, though. Got Krusty Krushers down 1-0. Rush Hour taking a lead in this one already. Trying to assert their dominance over this league. They have been quite the favorite so far. The Reinhardt stock gaining and gaining. We will have to see what Krusty Krushers roll out with on that second tank. It is very important for the... Okay, that is a... I think Krusty Krushers have a little bit of an advantage in the tank department. I think Orisa is better than Queen. And I think Hog is about on par with Reinhardt. So we are probably going to see a very close matchup on King's Row. Could be a continuation of that first point. We'll have to see. Rush Hour leads the series 1-0. Krusty Krushers looking to even up the score here. Like I said, two of our most dominant teams here clashing in week 2, so it doesn't take long for us to see these two squads matched up across the blocks with each other. Here comes Orisa Hog. A classic Overwatch 1 composition, although there's no more halt hook combo, so we will not be seeing that today. Moira gonna go down. Mercy might be looking for this rush. She will find it in the back line, and it looks like Krusty Krushers are gonna start to push through rush hour here, so good start for them. Support's distracting that Reinhardt in the back line. Well, the rest of the team dealt with Rush Hour on the point, so good start for Krusty Krushers here. Orisa proven to be a dominant force once again. I'm starting to think she might just be the end-all be-all top tank in Overbots. I think she should be drafted a little bit higher overall from now on. She is quite the menace. Maybe not, though. I don't know, Roadhog has just been going first every season, man. Also, Orisa hasn't exactly won anything, so maybe not. She hasn't been on a team capable of winning everything yet, I don't think. Okay. Comes Reinhardt. I mean, just like Bastion needs a team capable of winning everything, so does Orisa. So, I suppose that is the problem. So, Krusty Krushers able to get some more progress off of this Rush Hour, looking for a quick regroup. This is a lot of time on the time bank to work with, though, for the side of Krusty Krushers. They are doing a very good push on King's Row. We're going to have to see if the momentum can swing at all here for Krusty Krushers. Rush Hour. They're going to need a pretty dominant fight to start. Sojourn getting very low behind. She will fall to the fire strike, so it's the start you need if you're Krusty Krushers, or Rush Hour, I mean. My bad. To get back into this King's Row. Big beat coming out to save the rest of the squad here, and that res is more than likely going to mean not too much. I mean, maybe it does. Almost killing this queen off, however, Soldier's going to fall, so May all alone here. She's going to fall to kind of a big anti there. Is he going to pop this ult? She's going to try to dance away from the enemies. However, pressure is going to bring her down. Lucio's going to fall. And Roadhog and Orisa getting the job done here. They just keep pushing forward. Zen all alone here. Ryan coming around, however, he's going to fall. And it looks like Krusty Krushers are... Ooh, they get off the point, though. Maybe not quite yet. They aren't going to keep pushing this yet. But now they do. We will see here. Krusty Krushers Looking very strong with this Orisa. I have to see if Rush Hour can run this back here. They're going to get a touch. Here comes Rush Hour. Big old shatter on that Sojourn. However, not going to pick up too many picks off of it. The Transcendence does come out, but Lucio already gone. May on this point. The rest of the squad is getting pushed quite a ways away, though. And Sojourn dealing with the cleanup. So, Krusty Krushers eventually going to push through this one. They are going to have that second checkpoint, and they are looking very strong. Here we go. Couple more pushes to go here. Krusty Krushers turning this series on its head from the first map. Rush Hour very dominant on that first one. However, Krusty Krushers looking a lot more into this one, although Orisa frozen. They're not going to combo off of it, though. Soj going to go down. Mercy not going for the res quite yet. She does get very low. She's going to maybe fall. Well, Moira going to go down first, and then Mercy. And that's looking like where Rush Hour is going to start holding this thing. Mercy getting pretty low on the side. She will eventually fall. And we'll see if Krusty Krushers can push through this massive time bank to work with. Queen can be a little bit aggressive as a tank sometimes. Somehow the charge just goes right through the Orisa, so not exactly ideal for Ryan. He is kind of in their backline, though, so he could maybe use this to his advantage. He does start swinging on this Mercy. He is eventually going to fall, though, and Sojourn just putting in so much work. My old goat. Sojourn is quite a nice piece to have. I know how useful she can be. However, I just wanted to give Cassidy a chance this season, as he puts in some work for me as well. So, wanted to see if I can get any higher positioning. Big beat coming through, but it's working out really well for Krusty Krushers this season. So, they are going to get cleaned up by Rush Hour here on that fight, though. So only a couple more fights going to be available for Krusty Krushers to get back into the series. They are down 1-0. 2 minutes on the time bank, so pretty decent time bank to get the job done here. However, what is Rush Hour doing? They're just going to give up the point, man. Shatter does come through, however, Orisa's pushing this thing. Do we even see a touch come through here? They are going to make a few trades, however, like I said, can Lucio and May stall out long enough? Zen's going to come out to touch this thing. Ryan's going to be back, so the tanks, despite coming back around to stall this thing, are not quite going to get the job done, as they are going to be dealt with by the rest of Rush Hour as they come back. So a very aggressive Mercy's going to go down. That was not ideal. So now only a minute on the clock here, and Rush Hour is just doing a great job cleaning up these fights, sticking to the payload even when it looks like they're going to C9. This team proving exactly why they are one of the best in Overbots, have been a solid roster all around for a while now. Zen's the only one on point. What are they? What is this rotation? Rush Hour. Uh-oh. This is not good. Leaving their Zen all alone. Will he survive? Oh, he does pass that, pop that trance, so he will stay alive on point. The rest of Rush Hour doing absolute chaotic things. I don't know what's happening. It's playing like they're like almost real players. I don't know exactly what is going on. But the way they play is just so weird. It's like not normal. It's not human. It's more human than bot, almost. Make a touch. But that's just going to be it. So Krusty Krushers eventually we're going to push through. They're only going to have 20 seconds on the clock. But they do get the job done here with this Orisa. Looking very different than they did with that Winston. Now it's going to be on the shoulders of Rush Hour to post a better time. We'll see if they can do it. See what the tanks are first, though. It's going to be a huge impact on this King's Row. Currently, Rush Hour lead the series 1-0, but that could easily change with a good tank option or with a bad tank option from the side of Rush Hour and a good one from the side of Krusty Krushers. As we know, these teams are good. Both these teams is very winnable for them, so we will see the same tank lineup, which could spell a problem here for the side of Rush Hour. As we know, on attack on this map in particular, Queen seems to do a little bit of a throw. So Logie Swords actually lost this because of their Queen against AI. Despite having the better team overall, they were pushing in way too quickly with that Queen, and Queen got herself picked over and over again. I'm curious to see if the same thing happens here to Rush Hour. Could be a map weakness for the Queen. We'll have to see though. Lucio might be able to help that weakness a little bit, as he will speed up the rest of the squad to meet her. So it could just be a boon rather than a nerf. Alright, here we go. Here comes the Reinhardt team out from spawn. Mercy gonna go down to the Junker Queen. Rush Hour gonna meet her pace, and like I said, so with the Lucio, might have helped them a little bit not to throw their Queen away. That will be the first take coming through here for Rush Hour, doing a very good job on that one. They could very easily match or exceed Krusty Krushers' time if they continue like this. They have a 5-minute 40-second time bank to work with on the second point. Queen kind of getting soloed out by this Orisa. And she will eventually pay for her crimes. Mercy getting very low, however, she's going to be able to... Nope, she's going to go down, never mind. So, trades happening here. Zen on the outside looking in. He is spamming in some damage. Going to get on this... Oh, okay, so Ryan will fall. Krusty Krushers doing a good job with this Orisa Hog. Zen gonna go down. Not a great start here for Rush Hour. They're trying to get back into this. They did have a lot of time going into this, but a minute's already gone from a little bit of the spawn camp, and now the Roadhog gets a couple more. This could get ugly for Rush Hour very quickly. We will see if they can push through Krusty Krushers here. Could be a 1-1 series going into map 3. Roadhog getting kind of surrounded though. He's going to go down. Gets isolated and exterminated. However, Soj able to find one. Moira's going to go down to the Rhine pin though. And it looks like Roadhog's going to get rezzed, but Sojourn is falling on the back half. Big old shatter. Going to collect that Mercy. Roadhog's probably just not long for this world once again, so he's just going to go down again. And the push will continue here from Rush Hour. So despite getting held up a little bit, they will eventually push through the spawn hold. Krusty Krushers a little bit on the back foot here, so that Orisa doing wonders for them on offense, but here on defense it doesn't look quite as strong. It looks like they're kind of just getting melted, as Rush Hour is going to maybe come in here with a monster time bank. Sojourn does have that ult though, as well as Orisa. Could see those having huge value. Orisa going in, she's going to pop this thing immediately. Here comes the Mei ultimate. Gonna find the Rhine and the Zen, so the Sojourn and the Orisa using those ults and getting quite a bit of value. We will have to see here though, as we do have that Rampage could win a fight straight up with Junker Queen. That ultimate is so very powerful, just shutting down all healing on the opposing team, especially when you're playing against a team with this much healing. That Queen could come in a lot of handy against this Hog, against the Mercy, against the Moira. This team is literally no utility. Well, a little bit of utility. Mercy going down, that's a big pick to start, and that's probably just going to be the fight. We'll see though. Queen going down to trade though, not ideal. Sojourn could probably fall here. Orisa going down Queen also falling. Tank for a tank, however. Here comes the Transcendence. Going to keep himself alive, however. May getting a little bit caught out alone here. She does dodge the hook. Lots of chaos in this fight, and Moira will fall to the Rhine, so I think eventually Rush Hour is going to push through Krusty Krushers here. Sojourn going to fall. And Roadhog going to find that Zen. And the Rhyme Pin not going to quite find that Roadhog. So eventually we'll see them push up, but Mercy coming in with the pistol. Oh boy. Could be bad for Mercy. Oh, nope, she does find her Hog. However, that's a huge rampage. It does get both Mercy and Hog, but do they find the kills? They do find the Hog. Can they get the Mercy before the res comes through? We'll have to see. Mercy's trying to go for it. She does get the res off, so very powerful res, but both of them are shattered. Don't follow up on it, though, and that is going to lead to a Krusty Krushers fight win. And holy cow, Orisa with 3. Orisa absolutely carrying for this Krusty Krusher squad, coming in, making names for herself, and unfortunately for Rush Hour, you are stuck with the Sigma. You do have that beat to work with. And Ryan's just all in alone. He is eventually going to fall down here for Rush Hour. Unfortunately, that was a bit of a throw by that Ryan. Maybe staying alive just a little bit too long so that his team re-engages, and then everyone's gonna die. Well, maybe Sigma will get out, and Zen, maybe. So they are backing out at least. But they only have one more push, realistically, here, and they've been in a rough spot ever since King Ro has been selected. So I think we're gonna see a 1-1 game going into a map 3. Very tight series between these two squads. And this will be Rush Hour's first map loss. And who better of a team to hand it to them? If I have to be honest here, great team. May's going to contest this thing, and Freeze too. Can they find the Sojourn? Oh, May's not going to find that. Ooh, boy. Not a great boop from the Lucio. Kind of messed up the May shot. However, Ryan finding 2. Sigma contesting this point. Can they just touch? They're not going to touch. Rush Hour going to lose this one. So despite picking off 2 at the end there, going to give the win over to Krusty Krushers. And this is a 1-1 map score going into map 3 here. Very dominant Samoa. Very dominant Kings Row. Have to see if the pace of this play continues. Next fight, our next map win is going to be a huge advantage in the series, and we're going to deathmatch for it. So, oh boy, let's see who has the advantage here. This is going to be crazy. It's going to be chaotic. 1-1 series. Whoever takes 40 kills first will put themselves up to match point and send us to a map 4. Going to be hyper dependent on that tank selection. Think for this one, especially with how even these teams are, any advantage you get is going to be huge. So, oh, they got Hug. That is very good for Krusty Krushers, or very good for Rush Hour. I mean, it is 1-1 though because of Ryan pinning himself off the map. 2-1. How is there only 2 kills on the board when there's so many? Okay, what just happened, man? Okay, that res. Going to be huge here for Krusty Krushers. Going to maintain a 3-3 point score. Ryan going to make it continue to be basically tied here. Zen going to pick off 1. And these trades have just been going back and forth. And the Mercy res has been helping a lot. But eventually Rush Hour going to come out to a little bit of a lead here with this Hog on the board. Having a Hog in retaliation is a very strong tank. Going to take out that Sojourn. Like we know, this tank pick has been highly impactful in these close series. Oh, gonna miss that pin. He doesn't send himself off the map, so he won't sacrifice his team a kill. For how dominant has been, these reses have been massive in keeping the score close between these two squads. So eventually Krusty Krushers are probably gonna take a lead here. So a lot of reses and stuff have actually helped this be a very dominant Krusty Krushers map type in the past. We'll see if that continues here. May gonna get in here all alone. Hog coming to a rescue, but Zen's down on the other side. And oh my word, this is turning in Krusty Krushers' favor so heavily. Mercy just able to get away from this Rhine as he just keeps swinging on her and he eventually will fall. Roadhog does have this ult, but I don't know if it's going to be a whole ton of value as he does eventually just fall. So Rush Hour getting kind of routed here despite early dominance. They the Rhine may have just finished himself off one too many times as it is now 15-8. Krusty Krushers fully taking over this Black Forest. Shatter gonna get canceled here, and that is looking like a whole lot of it. Krusty Krushers absolutely getting steamrolled at the moment. It is nice to see that Sojourn success. She has been a brutal playmaker for this team. And man, this is just looking not even close now for Rush Hour. They are getting blown out. 12-point difference here for Krusty Krushers. Doing quite a good job at sustaining their team. Ooh, Lucio finds a boop. Few kills going the way of Rush Hour now. See if they can keep this pace going. They're going to have to do something miraculous. They are down 10 points, so they have made a little bit of that lost lead up, down to 9. They're going to have to do a lot more here, though, if they want to keep this close, and Zen going down is not what you want. Moira going to be found. Can they find this Mercy before she gets the res? They will, so still only a 9-point lead. Sojourn going to get melted here. Probably going to go down to this Hog, as Hog is looking for her. And suddenly that lead is only 6 points, so Rush Hour coming back into this one. Quite a dominant fashion here. They might actually be able to take the lead here, so Zen popping the frick off. Going to find quite a few kills. Tank 1 also doing a good job here of keeping his squad in this. Lucio gonna find that's Tank 2. Tank 1 gonna find that Roadhog. And Zen gonna be felled by Sojourn, but massive, ooh, bubble. Big bubble coming in from Zarya to save both of those players, but oh, they eventually will go down, and suddenly Rush Hour have the lead. So what looked like a dominant Krusty Krushers map has now traded into a dead even score. Zarya gonna be booped off the map by that Rhine charge. And now Rush Hour holds the sole possession of the lead, so this crazy, crazy map start is going to... Okay, Ryan's going to sacrifice himself, so that will be a no-kill. Mercy going to get hooked in. Does she go down? No, she does not. So, Mercy going to find this res, going to erase that kill on Moira. And Zen on the flank trying to get more kills, but this is just so dead even. Oh, huge boop by Hog. Gonna save his team the lead there. As Ryan pins in, Moira is going to be found. Zarya getting half. Sojourn versus Zen. Zen diffs. And now it's only 5 points away from a match point. So this is actually an insanely close death match. As Rush Hour held the lead at the beginning, then they lost it considerably. They were down like 12 points at one point, but now they're back into this one, 4 points away from winning. Can Rush Hour secure the win? They do get a long pin on them. I don't even know who, Zarya? And that is going to result in her death. Only 2 kills remaining here, and they will find it on that Sojourn, and wow, okay. Hard to tell what was going on in that map. I'm sorry, my recording was awful, but chaos everywhere results in Rush Hour winning this third map. They're going to be on match point headed into this next one, and they looked very strong, despite going down like, what was that? They were down like 14 points at some point, maybe, I think. A considerable amount, looked insurmountable, and then all of a sudden, they were right back in it. So we're going to go to Busan. Rush Hour currently lead the series 2-1. They are looking like a team to beat, man. Rush Hour's so good this season. With Lucio Zen, two previous champions. Zen, a Season 1 champion. Lucio, Season 2 champion. With the Rhine, who has been a consistent piece of greatness. And May, also a Season 2 champion. So you really have an excellent core. As well, with that extra tank bot, that can be any tank, and sometimes you get a Rom or a Rhine, and that is a very good combination. Even a Zarya would be good with this squad. Basically, any tank could be good with this squad. Sigma might be a bit of a throw, or a Winston. Those could still unimprove your chances of winning, and Doom will definitely stifle Krusty Krushers' chance at taking this series, as that is just a pick you don't want to see. If you are on the side of Krusty Krushers, this very likely gives Rush Hour a massive edge, especially with that ROM locked in. Could see a 3-1 here in what was anticipated to be probably the best matchup we have. Yeah, going down very early. That's a big old boop. That's a massive old boop. Ron taking out 2, and that's just going to lead to an easy Rush Hour victory. Ron doing what he does best, taking himself out to take half your team with him. So, early lead here for Rush Hour. Not insurmountable by any means for Krusty Krushers, but oh boy, Rush Hour. Looking like the team we think they are. Doom getting absolutely destroyed. Mercy coming in for the res. Does she get it? She does pick up the Doom, so Doom's death not exactly a huge factor, as Zen will fall here, but Rhine putting in work. Does find the Sojourn in this fight, despite taking a very long time. Looks like Rush Hour does have the lead in this one. Will shatter for the giggles. Rhine, Lucio, and May making it happen here. Lucio and May, of course, a part of that Lucio, May, Bastion, Torb composition that won it all last season. They are back trying to go for another championship, and May really increasing her stock value in overbots. So, Lucio going to be the first to fall here. They do have that Winston now, but I don't think it's going to be a huge impact, as Rush Hour continue to just clean up Krusty Krushers, and this is looking like the first point going Rush Hour's way. I don't know if Krusty Krushers are going to be able to get back into this one. Going up to 90% here and counting. It's looking like a Rush Hour 100-0 here on Busan on this first point, and Rush Hour just proving they are a nigh unbeatable team, it feels like at times. Here comes the Ramatra, all the ults coming out at once, layering those support ultimates, just absolutely shredding everyone. That's going to be it. Rush Hour looking like champions this season. I feel like Ryan honestly deserves a championship. 2-time All-Star. One of the greatest tanks we have in overbots. I'm all for Rush Hour winning this season, and I personally think they're going to do it this season. Going to see a junk combo here, so we're going to have the Queen and the Hog, which are both from Junkertown. A little bit of a swap up. I think that one is a much better choice than the Winston or the Doom. Could work out a little bit better for them. We'll see. Main issue going to be the Reinhardt and the Ramatra. Alright, we'll see. They're going to push underneath here. Comes the push. Going to find Moira. That Zen Mercy also going to fall here. May going to find Tank 2, aka Junker Queen, and this is looking like more dominance coming out from Rush Hour. This could just be another 100-0 here, man. They are looking on a roll, especially with this Ramatra. The fact that they have Ramatra just adds to this rush potential. Ramatra and Rhine both adding crazy value to the squad whenever they are selected for this Rush Hour squad. It just seems so impactful. I don't know where. Oh, there's the. They kind of like merged into one there. Okay. I counted 4 for a little bit, so I was confused. Okay. Zenyatta gonna fall here first. Moira gonna fall, but Mercy gonna be able to pick up the res, and it looks like we will see a fight win here for Krusty Krushers. So just when you think they're out of it, they are going to win a point or win a fight here on Busan. Great work by Sojourn as well as this Roadhog and stuff, getting the job done. These are looking like our 2 top teams in Overbot Season 3. Gonna be interesting to see if anyone can surpass them. Gonna have to see some miraculous trades going on throughout next week if we want to see any chance of that, though. Certain teams might be sandbagging for next season, so they might want to trade away their good pieces. Could see the stock market increase for teams that want to make a push for playoffs and championship, but these 2 squads are so strong. To challenge them is going to be rough. Alright, can Krusty Krushers... Oh, they're going to be on the outside looking. Can they push back into this one? Mercy, oh, that is an unfortunate fate for Mercy. Ramatra gets her with the gravity thing, and this is very likely just the 3-1 coming through. Did I just, like, mentally miss a fight? I think I did. My bad, guys. I might have even missed it on the VOD. I'm not even gonna lie, I'm, like, tired. Okay. So, Rush Hour looking like they're gonna claim a 2-0 map victory on this one and a 3-1 victory over Krusty Krushers, making them probably the #1 team overall. And man, the rest of this season could just be a wash. I don't see anyone contending with this Rush Hour squad. To be honest, they look nigh immortal. They have dropped 1 map only to the squad, so there is a scratch on them, but my word, this team is strong. Go next.